We are studying the course Discrete Math. We're talking about logic and we're discussing quantifiers. So there are two quantifiers that we usually encounter. One of them looks like the capital letter E, but flipped like a mirror image of it, and it means exists. There exists some number. And the other quantifier looks like the capital letter A, but it's flipped on its narrow head, and it means that we're talking about a number that can be any number at all in the whole world. And sometimes in our homework and in our assignments, we have this kind of demand that we should take the symbol of negation, of the symbol of not, and place it in the beginning of a sentence. So just I'll show how this symbol looks like. It looks something like this. So this is usually how the symbol is drawn. Maybe in your class it is drawn a bit different, but in many cases this is how we draw the symbol that means negation or not. And sometimes this symbol appears in the beginning of a sentence that has some quantifiers or quantifier in it. And our assignment is actually to do some kind of action that will push this negation symbol further into the sentence, more to the right. We begin when it is on the left, and we need our assignment in our homework many times is to push this symbol more inside in the depth of the sentence. And now I'll show you how to do it. So the most easy option is that we have some kind of sentence that has a single quantifier in the beginning of it. So I will write this option. So maybe I have some kind of a sentence or some kind of expression that begins with a quantifier that looks like the letter E in the mirror image of it. It means exists, some number exists. And afterwards there's some kind of parenthesis with some kind of expression. For example, maybe something is written here of the nature, there exists a number that is equal 100. Yes, there exists a number that is equal 100. This number is 100. So yes, this exists some kind of number. But what we're then being asked to do is to add, or maybe someone is adding for us, the negation symbol in the beginning. And now our assignment, here I added it here. So now our assignment is sometimes we are asked to push, to kind of push this symbol of negation, that it will not continue to be in the beginning of the sentence, but actually more in the depth of the sentence, more pushed to the right. So how do we do it? Well, there is some kind of law that comes to our assistance. This law is called the De Morgan law for quantifiers, and this law says that if I will switch the quantifier that looks like an E, and I will switch it to the other quantifier that looks like an opposite A, then what I can do, and I should do, with the symbol of the negation, I can place it over here. I can push it a bit more to the right. And this is how I do it. I'll show you. If I have this kind of expression, look what I can do with it. So what I did is I switched this quantifier that looks like an E to the other quantifier that looks like an A. This quantifier means all the numbers in the world. And what I did is I pushed and I switched position. I placed the negation sign more to the right, more in the depth of the sentence. And actually, according to the Morgan, this law of the Morgan law of the quantifiers, this is how it is called. Actually, these two expressions are the same. They have the same meaning. They have the same value. So they're interchangeable. I can use either this one or that one. But because my assignment in this case is to push the negation symbol more into the depth of the sentence, this way of writing the sentence is more conducive to my aim. So this would be better. And it's also goes the opposite way. I'll show you what I mean. If I have a sentence that begins with a quantifier that looks like an A on its head, the quantifier that means all the numbers in the world. And now I'm being asked to add the negation symbol in the beginning, or it's already added. Here it is. And now my assignment is to push this negation symbol to the depth, more to the right of the sentence. This is the way I can do it according to the De Morgan laws of the quantifiers. So what I did, I switched the symbol that means the quantifier that means all the numbers in the world. I changed it to this quantifier that looks like an E, and now what I do is I move the symbol from the beginning, from the outmost left, more a bit to the right. And actually those two expressions are the same. They have the same meaning. They're interchangeable. I can choose which one I want and I will still have the same meaning. But now this option is better when my assignment is to push the negation symbol a bit more to the right. And now I will show you what should I do if I have a sentence that does not only have one quantifier, but actually has two quantifiers that come as a couple, as a dual. And I will show you how can I move the negation symbol when I have those two quantifiers together, and I'll show you how. So when it comes to have two quantifiers one after the other, I have four options, and I have another video which I really broke down all of these four options and what they mean. So now I'm gonna do it briefly. So here are the options. So just briefly, I will make a rundown of what all of these expressions means. So the first one means the following. It means whichever two numbers in the world I will take, and then I can say something about those two numbers. This expression says that there exists two numbers that, and now I say something about those two numbers. This expression means that which any number in the world I will choose, for it exists some number that, and then I can say something about those two numbers. And this last expression means that there exists some number in the world, that for this number that exists, whichever number I will choose in the whole world, then, and I can say something about the relationship between those two numbers or about their value. So what do I do when I have an expression that includes this couple, these two quantifiers in one of these combination, one after the other as a couple? And now what I'm being told is that in the beginning there is going to be a negation symbol. So I will add it now. And now my assignment as a student is to do something, to do some manipulation that will remain, that the meaning of the sentence will remain the same. It will be the same thing, the same meaning, and they will be interchangeable, but I'm going to write it now in a different way. And in this different way that I'm going to write it, the negation symbol will be pushed more into the depth of the sentence. It will be more to the right. And now I will show you, according to the De Morgan law of quantifiers, how I do it. So what I actually do is a bit like before. Every time I encounter the quantifier that looks like an A, I'm going to change it to the quantifier that looks like an E. And the opposite, if I encounter some quantifier that is the one that looks like an E, I will change it to the other quantifier that looks like an A. And regarding the symbol of the negation, what I'm going to do, and I'm going to write it again in a different manner that means the same, I'm going to take this symbol of negation and I'm going to push it to the other side of this couple. So I'm not inserting it inside. I'm just kind of taking it and just placing it in the exactly opposite side of this dual, of this couple. So I'm now going to put myself in that place right now just to write to you how each sentence is going to be written in a different way. It's going to mean the same thing. It's going to be interchangeable. You can write each way you want it, and they both mean the same thing. But the other way that I'm going to write it now is going to be better to the assignment of pushing the symbol much more further into the sentence. So I'll now show you how each one of these 4 phrases I can write it in a different way that will mean the same, but it's going to be written a bit differently. Each time I have one quantifier that looks like an A, I'm going to write it like an E. Each time I see a quantifier that looks like an E, I'm going to write it as an A. And the symbol that means negation, I'm going to push to the other side of the couple. So I'm going to write it now. Bear with me. Thank you for your patience. So what I did, as you can see, this and this are the same. They have the same meaning. They are interchangeable. Also, this and this is the same, and this is the same, and this is the same regarding its meaning and value. But what I did is, each time I saw this kind of quantifier, I change it to that kind of quantifier, and in each time I took the negation symbol and I make it skip this whole dual and to be placed in the other side of it. So as you can see, the negation symbol was being pushed to more further to the right and in the depth of the sentence, and this is conducive to our assignment to push the negation symbol more inside this sentence. So in the next video, I'm going to show you how to push the symbol of negation even further inside the sentence, sometimes even until the happy moment that it even vanishes and does not exist anymore. So I hope to see you all in the next lesson.